Hi there, I'm Philip Wright, independent advisor to farmers on soils and cultivations, and we're here with Phil Vickers at Raby Estate. Well, I'm going to just ask Philip for a start, just to give us a little bit of background behind your experiences so far at the estate. I know you haven't been here that long.
Thank you, Philip. Yeah, Philip Vickers, farm manager at Raby. Basically, the estate, it's one of the largest estates in the UK, and we're looking to change direction to be more environmentally focused, but at the same time we're still wanting to be commercially viable. We don't want to lose sight of production. So this estate's a really interesting place actually. On my arrival it's sort of wheat and oilseed rape, and there's a decision taken to put a broader amount of broader cropping in. We're in County Durham, but we still have flea beetle problems. So I'm just saying a minute ago, I'm quite surprised this crop looks so well, because we really did suffer from flea beetle in autumn. So I think if the estate hadn't taken the decision to change policy voluntarily, judging by some of the problems we've got, it would have been forced upon us anyhow.
And the broader rotation fits in pretty well with your policy to manage grass weeds. And
it does, yeah. I say when I arrived it was oilseed rape and wheat was sort of backbone. We brought in planned spring and winter beans, spring barley. Winter barley has been with us with limited area for a while to get early drilled oilseed rape in, but the winter barley area will come up. And we're just trying to make a sort of more sustainable rotation to try and get away from some of the pest pressures. At the same time we're adopting more sort of direct drilling practices. So it's yeah, quite an interesting journey really. And as far as the oilseed rape goes, we're looking for sort of robust varieties. This is one of the decalb varieties we're sort of trying. We'd end up going down sort of one particular plant breeder's route, which has been great. It's given us results, but we'd like everything, we're trying to maintain diversity. So bringing some decalb varieties in to see what works for us here. Not a perfect crop of rape, but certainly considering what we saw in autumn with the level of sort of flea beetle, 20 to 40 plants per metre squared, I'm quite happy with this today. So, yeah.
And is the vigour, that vigorous nature of the vigour with the varieties quite useful, considering you're moving to a less is more approach as well, so it gives you a little bit of insurance perhaps?
Definitely, and especially we've been in County Durham because it is cold and wet up here, and it is nice. You know, this did move away quite quick in spring, which was great.
It's got to work, as you've said, but so some of the insurance policies say with this crop, if that's more of a safe bet because it's vigorous, and then it's just how you manage it from there, I suppose.
It is, and you know, we have got to choose varieties very carefully, because this system, the slightest falter with variety, nutrition, number of factors, it'll fall. You know, spectacularly, it'll be a huge train crash. So everything's got to be attention to detail. And, you know, things move on. We've got to be looking for the next variety. We've got some real stalwarts that have done as well, but they won't continuously. You know, we've got to be moving on and looking for the next thing. So I'm going to be really interested to see when the combine goes in here. Bear in mind the challenges it's had with the flea beetle. Just what it does yield.
You've certainly got some good branching, haven't you?
It has, yeah.
To be fair, we haven't been very far in the field, so we're on a sort of a headland area, but we've got some pretty decent looking plants. So what's been your technique and process for getting to that stage, Philip?
Well, one of the things on this farm quickly picked up, the plant population's quite low, but so I brought the hybrid seed rate up. That's because we're losing a lot to flea beetle. So we put a good base fertiliser on, which in this occasion was actually ash base, so we knew we had enough nutrition after the soil test to get the crop up and running. And yeah, basically we're looking for the robust varieties, and the nitrogen regime as well. That's quite interesting, because obviously what we're trying to do on farm, we don't really use a huge amount of nitrogen, so we come in quite early with a urea sulfur solid fertiliser and then onto UAN. And we're coming in below RB209, but trying to get the timings right. Last year last year was sort of 20 odd percent, 20 to 25% below RB209 suggested. This year will be 15-20% below. But at the same time, we're trying to get the trace elements right as well. We're high mag soil, but it's never evident in the plants, so we've applied more magnesium than traditionally would have done. We suffer a lot from boron problems in this area, tissue, testatonas. So we're just trying to manage, get every ounce of production out of the nitrogen we put in. We put a PGR effect fungicide product on to get this branching, and that seems to be a very, very successful approach. So again, it's just attention to detail and trying to eke out every bit of performance out of the inputs we can.
Because your level of soil disturbance is relatively low, if you're not soil loosening it, less mineralisation, that has a factor, so you've got that in the forefront of your mind when you're deciding nutrition.
We have, we're trying to avoid, some of the land did get a small amount of nitrogen in autumn, but we're trying to avoid that if we can. I think the key is a vigorous variety in the spring and early nitrogen as soon as it's appropriate and can travel without too much risk of leaching, and that was one reason we chose urea as the sort of choice product early doors, so something sat under to get the crop moving quick. And we have a lot of pigeon problems here as well, a lot of trees, a lot of woods, and so just keep it moving.
Any difference in the relative mineralisation, local mineralisation of the tine-based seed hawk type drill compared to the compared to the disc drill?
The seed hawk moves more soil, as you know, and we do find that quite useful for getting the rape established because it mineralises a bit more nitrogen. It just seems to help on the sort of slug side as well with moving the debris a bit more. We don't seem to have quite so many slug problems after the seed hawk.
I suppose this far north, losing a little bit of moisture is less of a concern than it might be if we were well down south of the country.
A little bit less so, but it is still a big problem.
Yeah.
You know, we are sheltered by the hills that way, so we are in a bit of a shadow here. It's not quite so wet as some of the land just around here, but we have got to be careful.
So it's sort of localised mineralisation rather than the whole. I guess that helps with weed control too, does it?
It does. You know, the land has been well looked after over the years, so we haven't a big weed burden, which helps. But yeah, it's, you know, there's pros and cons of both drills. Huge amount of stone as well, and the tine drill can be a real pain pulling the stone out, which, you know, is new to me. So,
yeah, and I think to be able to have the ability to work with either can help coping with residues a bit, but also I suppose if things get really under pressure, you've got quite a lot of output. That's one of the key considerations here, to get the crop in the ground at the right time so it stands a chance. And we did put 1,000 acres of oilseed rape or cover crop in a week with both drills running. You know, and I think that ability, timeliness, is absolutely key. I mean, the varieties like this give us a little bit more flexibility, but we're only talking about a week, so you know, it's important we do. That window of opportunity for the soil conditions too, because that can, high mag soils, that can change quite quickly.
This year, with all the capacity we've now got, we're only just finished drilling in time, so it is, paramount importance.
Good job we had both then.
Good job we had both, yes. Yeah.